This one,
He judged.
I judge lah.
I also judge.
It was actually like recommended by her parents.
I didn't want to go on the holiday because if the baby doesn't sleep at this time, she is going to lose her mind. Like,
Parenting is just, it's not for me.
so it was not my podcast.
Right.
I did not see the edited footage. I was not consulted about what clips were used in the reels.
The comments went wild and saying we should have had an abortion.
It's
it was crazy.
When you realize there got crazy people like this out there, right?
You cannot please them.
That's why I didn't feel the need to redeem myself to people in the comments. More so, I just want to troll. Who are they? I don't care.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited for today's guest. One of them is from the world of radio entertainment, headlining her own shows on national radio, and the other is quite frankly a rock star running, in my opinion, one of the coolest barbershops in Singapore. I personally go there, so I could say that. Please welcome Jill and Casey!
Hey!
Hello!
What is up?
Mad starstruck for Caracal. Hey, mad starstruck.
So, you guys have been making waves online recently for, I believe, Jill's appearance on the Two Tired Mum podcast.
Yes.
For certain things that may have been said about both yourself and also
All
Casey.
factual, that's
yeah,
fine.
all factual. Is this the first time you guys are appearing on a podcast together?
We
Yes.
are, yeah.
Oh wow,
First
we're so
time.
honored.
That's a
First
huge
time.
honor for us. Also very exciting to get, I guess, both sides of the story, all sides. For context, right? If you guys haven't seen it, I encourage you to. I think
Let's
it's quite...
play here.
With my firstborn, I paid for everything. And then when you're in the hospital after you give birth, they're like, okay, whose MediSave do you want to deduct? Hey, he quiet lah. So I have to sacrifice my body. I pay for all the doctor's appointment. Then you still want to take my CPF. Like, what have you done? What have you done?
I remember watching this, and it's basically talking about medical bills and hospital bills for the first pregnancy and how Casey didn't pay for it. And I believe the quote was, they asked like, who's MediSave you want to deduct? And he quiet lah.
He caught, bro, the silence. The silence. But he looking at the baby, so maybe he didn't hear. I don't know.
my
The baby
initial
wasn't out yet.
We were.
at that point.
Was it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Start already.
When I first saw the clip, right, instead of feeling like, oh my god, are you guys okay? Do I need like to ask you guys whether you're okay or not? Right? My initial impression was like, nice, confirm viral. This is damn shook. So I wanted to ask like, how much of it was intentional for like views to like purposely trigger?
This one you have to ask her because I
You had no clue. Wait, hold on. Okay,
I
let's unpack
didn't
this.
know.
Nice.
You didn't know this video was going
No,
up.
calm down.
Wait. I knew she was filming that podcast, but I didn't know the context of
Right.
how
That she was
things
gonna
would play
throw
out.
you under the
Lies.
bus and
Yeah,
then
lies.
reverse forward.
No. Complete lies.
Because she's written about this before.
Yep.
And the articles did well. But I think because of the clickbait, it just went wild lah. It went
Right.
crazy.
Because in my head, like with the IG reel, there's only so much time that you can really like commit to telling the full story, and also sometimes you want to omit certain things so that you get a reaction from the audience.
No, I didn't want to omit anything because in other episodes we did touch about why he didn't pay.
Yeah.
But specifically, I was a guest on that podcast, so it was not my podcast.
Right.
I did not see the edited footage. I was not consulted about what clips were used in the reels. I was not asked what kind of captions would be used in the reels.
Right.
Obviously, all that adds on, right? Adds to the fire of the clip. How you word it. To answer the question, did I know I would get a reaction? Of course lah. It's the same way I know like this outfit would go better with a cream top, but you know,
Okay.
you have to.
So that means the first time the both of you saw the clip, it was already live.
It was
Yes,
live.
it was up for about a week or two.
Oh,
it was
okay,
up for a
okay,
week
okay.
or two already,
And
and
so
then
you were the moment you see it, you already see the reactions that
it
that
didn't.
came with it.
No, so it was up for a week or two. Didn't do well. Didn't do anything, and he liked the video because like
Yeah, I saw it. The day it went up, I saw it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay lah.
Wait, how do you feel about the clip, the content?
I mean, I was okay because I mean, she wasn't lying. I did not say anything. But there's a lot of reasons as to why I will touch
I
on
would
that
like to
soon lah.
unpack.
Of
Okay,
course.
okay.
But what happened was when I started seeing
once it became viral.
once it went viral and then the comments went wild, then I just went into this mode lah of like I just wanted to troll people lah. Really.
No, that's not true.
Wait, okay, that's true.
His
No.
feelings hurt.
My feelings were hurt a week
Yeah.
later. It gets to people, okay? It gets to people.
No, I appreciate the realness. But what I want to understand is that what made you, knowing right that people will look at Casey a little bit differently, or they might give him shit, or just laugh at him like, at the very least, right? What made you decide that it was worth sharing?
Firstly, if you watch the clip, it starts off with my editor saying, my husband didn't pay for my bill.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God, mine too.
Yeah.
And then I went on with that.
Right.
And from my experience, many husbands don't pay for the hospital bills.
Right.
Like, I don't have that many female friends,
Yeah.
but like 4 out of 5 of them, they paid their own hospital bills. My mom paid for her own hospital bills as well. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's kind of normal.
I do feel like it could be normal for, especially for younger couples, because like the girl get hit stuck in their career.
Exactly.
Guys feel broke.
So that also talks about why he didn't pay, because of the situation that we were in at that point in time where it was COVID and then his business was shut down for 3 months. He had zero income while having to still pay rental for his shop.
Right.
So why would I have asked him? Okay, to be fair, he did pay for a couple of...
I did, yeah.
You
to
did,
be
lah.
fair.
I'm sure.
To be fair,
But after
bro, music doesn't pay money, bro. That's why my CPF was very low, dude.
I have shitty band that opened for your band last time, you know.
Oh, really?
And we did it just so we could say that we were on the stage with
Yeah, but you
guys.
see, you stop playing music, that's why your CPF mock out.
So I mean, speaking of that, 'cause we kind of started on it. So what is the full context for those who maybe didn't watch the other podcast?
Well, my life is a whirlwind lah. I'm sure y'all know the gist of my life. There's a lot of things online about me.
Okay,
it was like
okay.
a full like documentary of what
He
happened
go
to me.
jail.
Yeah, I went to prison. I went to prison post Caracal, and it was a very turbulent life. And basically, I started working and earning money proper quite late in my life lah, to be honest. So me not wanting to pay the CPF wasn't be like, hey, you use yours lah. It's, I don't know if I can thank. If anything were to happen to her, baby, you know, I was like, okay lah, she's been working a stable job since she was 19. So I think it's quite substantial.
Yeah.
So yeah lah, it's not that I didn't say it, but I probably was just holding the baby lah. It wasn't like just shut up.
Homer Simpson going
It wasn't like that lah. It wasn't a Homer Simpson going to bushes meme. But yeah, I think just people took that, latched on to what she said, and just went crazy. But I mean, that's with everything online, right? Like with clickbait, once you find it, people just start fabricating their own stories and targeting Singaporean men and saying we should have had an abortion. The comments went wild. It was crazy. It was like 0
When
to
she
100.
can afford it, let's kill the baby.
Yeah, exactly. It was like crazy. It went like 0 to 100, but yeah lah. So that for more context, that's actually what happened during that time.
Right.
And so, you know,
We had a second one.
So speaking of the comments, like people were saying, I can't believe you had a second one with him, and of course, like in general, like Singaporean men so rubber. Then I saw that Casey decided to respond to some of these, and instead of like providing more context, like I think you trolled more because you said you'll be more shook to find out that when Jill was going to labor, I went to work.
Oh yeah. We can talk about that.
Which is still
Which is true. Again, it's true.
It is true. She's not lying.
Yeah.
So thing is, she
I was at the gate holding on to him like, I don't think you should go to
no.
work.
This is a lie. She had this thing called Braxton Hicks. It feels like contractions, right?
Yeah.
I think you should be telling people this, not me.
I told my style, you say not true.
This episode is for you, bro.
So basically, this story doesn't redeem me in any part. So she says like, I think it's Braxton Hicks. Then I was like, you want me to cancel my appointments or not? And then she was like,
I don't know what this story
and
is.
literally, she was standing at our bedroom door and she was holding. She was like, I think it's just Braxton Hicks. I'm not sure.
Right.
And I was like, you want to go to the hospital first? She's like, I asked my dad. He'll send me there. And then if I'm going to labor, then you can just come lah.
Okay, so what happened was we were at the gate. I was not bent over. I was not in that much pain yet. But I was like, I think it's happening today. I don't think you should go to work. She's closing the gate. He's like, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And I'm like,
The nervous laughter making me nervous.
I really don't know.
no, I think don't go today. And he's like, don't worry, you'll be okay.
No.
He goes.
So sweet.
He goes.
Sorry.
And like, true enough, it was happening. And I called him. I'm like, yo, I think I'm going. Do you want to meet me at the hospital or what?
Yeah.
This part he doesn't even remember. He remembers meeting me at the hospital. He came home. So we were in my dad's car.
Oh.
Because I couldn't, by then I was like, wow, damn pain. And then you had to help me into the wheelie chair. Wheelchair. Yeah.
That's not
so
bad.
you see, the brain, he does not remember things.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, you're having your first kid, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is a whirlwind.
The interesting thing of seeing y'all realize each versions of the story seemingly for the first time. Right? It's wild. Yeah. It's like, y'all don't debrief in real life. You only do it on podcast.
No, she sent me to be honest, she sent
Can
me the
I tell
questions.
you?
She sent me
in
the questions.
car right here, I said, "So, did you look at the questions?" And he's like, "Yeah, he didn't." Then I said, "Oh, I really like because one of the questions that you sent, I really like this question. What would your answer be?" And he's like, "I don't know lah." I'm like, "Oh my god, please think about this. Please think before you answer."
Not on the PIE at 9 a.m. I cannot think about questions.
So eventually, you did end up in the hospital, like whether
Yeah,
it was
Yes,
from
of course.
home or
He
result,
filled in
yeah,
all
yeah.
the forms. He did everything. He's a good dad.
Exactly.
He's a very good dad.
So
I mean, you're not going to redeem yourself. Someone has to do it for you.
No, that's why I didn't feel the need to redeem myself to people in the comments.
correct.
Right.
Who are they? I don't
don't know.
care.
Yeah.
Like really, like more so, I just want to troll.
Yeah.
Like think what you want of me.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter to me.
I gotta ask, who paid for the second pregnancy?
Okay, this one
Split.
we split lah.
okay, fair
We
enough.
split lah. The
Fair
second
enough.
one we
He didn't
split.
come for most of the appointment. Okay, see,
Wait.
Yeah.
you want a clickbait for the real? He
Yeah.
didn't come for a majority of the appointments with my second
I
child.
did not.
GG. Yeah.
I did not. And it was post-COVID, so I could go back to work.
Yeah,
And I do
and he
work a
chose
commission-based
work over me.
business.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so that he could pay.
Yes.
Correct. But
Yeah.
you should have let me finish it. And that's
Okay,
the
yes.
bit that they cut out.
Okay,
for
now use the
virality.
clickbait, the rage bit.
Yeah, please don't worry about us.
So yeah, with the second child, we were post-COVID. He could go back to work. He went back to work and barely went for any of my doctor's appointments.
Is that
Context
okay?
is because he's
Yeah.
on.
Is
Yeah,
that
of
okay?
course,
Is that
of
necessary?
course.
No, is that the norm? I totally don't know.
Oh, the norm, I don't know. I don't know if it's norm, but again, like what he said, like context, he's commission based.
Yeah.
So do I
Yeah.
want you to sit in a doctor's appointment with me for like 2 hours
Yeah,
when you could be
exactly.
making money?
Hey,
Please
and
go make money.
I just need to rant about the doctor's appointments also lah. The
Hey,
doctor,
he's a good doctor.
He is, but it's just like when they set an appointment, this is 3 hours. You know, we wait. Sometimes we wait.
Like they tell you to come
3
at 9.
hours.
They tell you gotta be at 9 sharp. If not, you lose your queue number.
But you're only going at 11.
No, there's no
Nine.
queue. There's no
Yeah.
queue. There's no queue.
Right.
They set an appointment because it was a private
Yeah.
clinic. So
Yeah.
we went, but most of the times, let's say it's like 9 a.m., 9:30, then she'll finish at like 11. Like we'll go in at 11.
Right.
11:30 or something like that lah.
Very entitled.
But-
Maybe he got to deliver a baby in the morning or what?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
So later on,
No,
we
but
found
I
out.
feel like appointment is
yes,
appointment.
Like,
But
I mean,
it's quite tough
I
because
don't
you
know
also
why we
operate.
found out it was a gynae. So
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
has to run to the hospital to deliver babies. so eventually, yeah. So I was like, oh, second one, we've been through this rodeo. You
Yeah.
know, like okay.
But he would ask, "Do you want me to come? Do you want me to come?" Like, nah, it's fine.
Right.
Is it really fine?
Which is really,
It's fine.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
question.
It's fine, it's
Is
fine.
it fine?
It's fine. I mean, for me,
Right.
he only came for like the first one to hear the heartbeat, and then like the 3D ultrasound one. Cute one. Okay, that one you
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Those
And
are the big
then-
ones.
And then
Yep.
the one where you go to the actual hospital where they measure the baby again.
Yeah.
You remember Lily
Yep,
was sucking
yep.
her thumb inside. Yeah. So
Did you follow
the cute
for all the
ones.
hospital
I went
appointments?
for all but one, I think, and
Okay.
just that one was because I think we had like there was something on. It wasn't like a major milestone, but I went for all just because I was curious myself.
Right.
First
but do you
time dad,
think
what?
necessary or not?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we never really spoke about it, but I think it was more of that internal pressure that if I don't, I would feel like let her down. But I think it was just
It's on
internal
yourself
pressure.
lah. It's
Yeah,
on
like
yourself.
no one placed that on me.
So
She
second
def-
child, would you go for every appointment again?
Okay, maybe. I think a little bit tougher now because we're working in the same company, and so then there's downtime for both people. Just because my boss is here, so I will say that. But to switch it back, right? I think those people who are saying like, "Hey, how come like your husband never go?" I think a little
He
bit
was there for
privileged.
everyone on the first one, that one he never mentioned me. He
you so
mentioned me
much.
at the cannot.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay,
Motherfucker.
John was honestly very understanding because like I would sometimes be like, "I'm sorry, I can only come in at 11
Yeah.
today." Because we got
you'll pass there, you'll pass
very,
there.
very kind boss. No, I do want to flip it back, which is that I think that a lot of people in the comment section that I think are a little bit privileged and haven't checked their privilege a little bit because they're saying, hey, how come like husband never go for appointment or whatnot? But like you said, like the nature of your business is that you have appointments.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
something gets pushed back, you have to cancel a
No,
client.
even if it's not commission based, I don't know how do normal businesses do it. Like how do normal people do it?
Yeah.
You apply leave like 12 times to go and see doctor and wait.
Exactly.
No, that's why I always wondered if it's to see the doctor in the morning. Like, how does that work? If you go for every
Yeah.
single appointment, it's gonna eat into your your.
I mean, if you can, it'd be nice lah. But I also think weird. Like if I go and see doctor and my wife, like for some reason, if she's free, she want to follow me. I'm like, for fuck.
Correct. And also to be clear, I had very problematic pregnancies. So
Yes.
I think it was once a month. Normally you go see a doctor once a month. We had to go twice a month. And then towards the end of the pregnancy, it was almost every week that I had to get checked out. So I mean,
And the first pregnancy, I went almost every single one. But also, I was a bit worried because she had a incompetent vagina. So like,
So this is a medical term.
It was an incompetent cervix, right?
Yeah, so it's like,
That's so
it's
brutal.
so rude.
So,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
That's so unnecessary. Why can't it
but
be
I
like
find it funnier
cervical
when you say
failure?
incompetent vagina. Yeah.
So, but right, it's a weak cervix, but then they
Yeah.
call it, the medical term is
yeah,
incompetent.
so she had to be on bed rest, you see. So she couldn't
It's a
even like
miscarriage risk.
yeah, so she
Right.
she had to be on bed rest. She couldn't like even stand up to take a shower. Like she had to quickly shower herself and stuff like that. And so I think first pregnancy, right, and then COVID,
Yeah.
and then like
you're rebuilding the business
and
essentially.
then the business, like I mean, the shop is already not doing well, and then both of us are just like, oh, fuck, was this the right year to have a kid? But we were blindsided, right? We didn't know. We found out in February that she was pregnant. March, COVID hit.
Yeah.
Then I was like, fuck me, what am I gonna do?
I mean, speaking of this, and something that I personally struggle with when I guess like we started doing the show, right, was like knowing how much to share and not realizing that my partner was actually uncomfortable with like a lot more than I realized.
Did you talk to each other before you?
Not before, because I thought like, okay, like, she understands what I'm trying to do. Like I need to overshare to hopefully get some like
Right.
views or whatnot, and then realize, oh, actually she's not okay with this, she's not okay with this and that. So I'm
Okay.
wondering, like for you as well, like did you realize like, okay, I can share anything and I can just tell Casey later? And for you, was there any like boundary that you feel like she shouldn't or can cross?
So for me, quiet.
She can't even say anything.
No, so for me, right, we've been together for 13 years already, right? And she's always been in the media, in the radio and everything. And I mean, she's spoken about me on air and everything before lah, you know, and obviously I don't hear it, but never really bothered me. So this didn't bother me, but the first thing I said to her when I saw it, when she told me like, oh, it went viral, like 2 weeks after it was
it went
up,
up.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, it went viral. It's like, oh, serious ah? I saw a few prominent names commented. I was like, oh, okay. And then obviously I like to troll, and then I got into the troll mode. But the first thing that I asked her was, hey, you got to defend me or not with these people? That's the first thing I asked. And that's all that mattered to me, really. I think marriage is a partnership, right? You marry your best friend and
Wow.
really.
She just got the butterflies.
So you marry your best friend, and I think that to me was the biggest thing. It's like,
Yeah.
you gonna like stand up for me? Yeah, you okay? Like you already like, yeah, like you can talk shit about me. I talk shit about her all the time, right? I think it's
But
healthy.
different skill.
I mean, of
Follow on radios.
yeah, but the thing is, it's like, I mean, these people, I don't know them. Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to me. But
Okay.
the thing is like, I wanted to know whether my partner had my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was it lah. Until later on, when there was a little bit more episodes came out, then I was like, alamak, here we go.
What? I didn't talk about you.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think it's just people started to like, hey, I heard her husband is Kerkel. Then Kerkel appeared again. Then after that, I was like, oh my god, okay, here we go. Then then we got a little bit sian already. I got a bit sian of it. But then, come to think of it, after a while, I think pretty much used to it.
Everybody just wants something to bitch about for a while.
I said, hey, I'm going to be doing this podcast. By the way, the podcast was filmed last year.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Okay,
you can tell from her hair.
It's going to be based off articles that I wrote for the Singapore Women's Weekly. And they're going to take some of these articles, turn it into a podcast. You cool? Yeah. Can.
That's super not enough information, to be fair.
So we had this argument, and I said, so not only did you not watch the full video, I feel you didn't watch the full video, you didn't read any of my articles. Because had you had read my articles, you would know what I'd be talking about.
I read the articles, but to be fair, I only
You
read
never
the
read.
very juicy ones. When I saw the word anal, I'm clicking on it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Like, I'm doing my asshole. That's what we're talking about.
You see, like hospital appointments or anal, which one you gonna click?
I feel he was okay with the comments because again, like who are they? They don't care. But once his friends started like, hey,
It wasn't-
why didn't he them sensey?
It wasn't really the friends. It was the just the general public's view on Jill, because they don't know her personally. They don't know her like I know her or our closest group of friends. If you don't know Jill, you're definitely not gonna like her. The things is like, hey, why she tear you down like that lah? So everyone was coming to me and saying like, why she talk about you like that? Why she talk? You okay to be like viewed like that in the public? I'm like,
And
I mean, I
here's
don't-
my problem with that. So we're talking about it. I said there's no one's going to defend a man better than a man defends a man. It is such a boys' club. The problem was not, hey, why didn't you pay for the hospital bills? That's interesting. It's, well, why you let your wife talk about you like that? How dare your wife say?
Right.
So
Yeah,
it was more of an ego. Like, how dare she call you out? Instead of,
Right.
hey bro, you never pay. How come? Why?
Yeah.
So that was my problem with it.
Okay, and you were getting friends were saying this.
Public
Friends
enemy.
or just like friends or like random people, like even clients. It's like, hey, so what happened now? The podcast. Why she?
So how do you
But
even
can I
respond?
share my perspective on why it was that two thoughts that went through my head also? The first one is that I won't bother asking you why didn't you pay, probably because you couldn't afford it.
Yep.
Then if I've self-answered that in my head is that, then why you let her say?
Yes,
Not in,
you know what I
I feel
mean?
like it's not in
But-
a... It doesn't come from a place of guy protect guy or whatever,
Basically,
right?
it's media, right?
It's just like no money, then it's like really no money is a suck time, it's a hard condition. But then like no money and then want to go and borrow money, that is a choice you make. So
Yes.
similarly, going to say on a podcast is a choice that you make.
But I guess because of the context of the podcast and because there are mothers out there that go through the same
Yeah,
problems.
yeah.
And when she speaks about these things, it's split, right? Half of them are tearing us down. The other half are going to her and saying like, thank you so much for talking about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for bringing this
would
up
think
because
so.
I'm going through the same thing as well.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And she speaks about these things.
Yeah.
But also
You know?
a lot of them were like, please don't because like I would screen. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, can I share your message? I think I got over 100 people following me.
Wow.
And out of that 100, 40 people messaging me, agreeing,
Right.
Yeah.
thanking us for being open.
Yeah.
Out of the 40, 2 of them just hated me lah. Like a lot of them were like, please don't share my message because people cannot know I agree with you.
Oh,
my family follows you also. You know, my husband follows Casey, so he'll know that I feel the same way. Cannot, so don't share this.
right.
So it's sad lah. It's like you still bash me online,
Yeah.
but then you're here telling me like, well, bro, I relate. This resonates so hard. But please don't tell people that I resonate because I have to be a good mother because you're a bad mother. So I have to be a good mother.
But I'm guessing that's the point of why you're even putting this content
Correct.
out there, right? You're trying to get the conversation started, maybe
Yeah.
even normalize it.
Yeah.
kind of
And
stuff.
also, if you don't pay for a doctor's appointment, you're not a bad father, by
Yes.
the way.
That's
Just
the-
so everyone
That's
knows
the
that.
thing.
exactly.
That's the thing. You know, there's just a big stigma on Singaporean men in general, and it's just stupid. I really think it's so stupid and funny. When I was reading the comments and just going through, there was this one mom that messaged her. She was showing me. She's like, "Hey, you see." She starts by saying like, "I don't do this or that," and she was very nice and polite about it. And by like the third or fourth paragraph, she thought she was being a friend.
Yeah.
She was like, wow, she wrote so nicely. She was like, yeah, I'm a mother. I do this for my kids. You know, I do this, do that, do this. And she's very articulate of what she was saying. And then the last paragraph suddenly was a plot twist.
I would do everything to make my son happy. You know, if that meant buying him goodie bags and I didn't have the money, I would find the money because his smile means everything. As a mother, you know, it's very tiring. I'll do anything for my son. And if that means being tired on vacation, I'll try my best and give him a good vacation. And, you know, when he grows up, I will not call him an asshole because I call my kids assholes. Because he needs to learn how to regulate his feelings and using words like these are not nice. And finally, when he grows up and wants to date a self-entitled radio DJ, I will tell him no. I'm like, oh,
There was no plot twist. It was plot twist. It was wild. Yeah. It was long, you know. It was like full on. I was like, whoa. She was the one that said that she would pay for her son's dates, right?
oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like if her son went out on a
Cannot
date and
afford.
couldn't afford, she would
She would pay.
give him money to go out on dates.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's
So
really
it's
It's like
cool.
when you realize there got crazy people like this out there, right? Then
You cannot please them.
Yeah, just fight
How
for
to
what,
please crazy
yeah?
people?
Yeah.
You really cannot please people. It's
No, but
Yeah.
I guess like, and we kind of alluded to it, is that a lot of people watched the clip but didn't watch the full thing. And I think if you watch the full thing, even the start of the podcast, you said that the very reason why you guys were doing it is to normalize these conversations, that moms are tired and we like go through stresses and a lot of pains. And it's almost like compiling all the complaints you've had throughout motherhood and just putting it in one episode. And so it is going to sound like a complaint sesh, but that was kind of the nature of it anyway. And actually, if you watch the full podcast, there were also moments of levity. There was also moments
Yes.
of like joy, like that was actually brought up. And so it's just a shame that I think a lot of people just look at that 30-second clip and almost feel like they can judge your entire marriage marriage and family life.
It was like what? How many views did it get? Like Ghana?
Oh,
like
many.
And then like when I went to YouTube to
Yeah.
watch it was like 500 views.
Less than that.
Yeah,
I
like
think YouTube
less.
had 200 views, but the reel had like 1,000, and it was shared like 900 times, and it was 800 comments. But on the
Right,
actual
yeah.
full video, it's like 200 views
Yeah,
and
so
no comments.
As of today, I think the clips are like between 300 to 400k.
Oh, wow.
And then the
Okay.
YouTube is at 1k. So like everyone's just
okay.
basing off the clip rather than the full.
But even if you watch the full video, it's a 20-minute video.
Yeah.
And if you've done podcasts long
It
enough
took
to
a
know.
year to edit that.
How long was the film?
So as you know, a podcast, you can't do much in 20 minutes. Things cannot be
Yeah.
expanded and talked about in the length of 20 minutes. So
So
Yeah.
that was the first clip.
Yes.
Then there was
Let's move
another
on.
clip. I mean, there were a couple that I think ruffled a few
There were
feathers.
three that went crazy. So.
okay, so behind the scenes, right? The fourth episode, that was when they called me in and they were like, okay, so we have been receiving this feedback and this kind of reaction. I'm like, can I see the fourth one? Because I've never asked. I don't care. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
guest. Do what you want.
Yeah.
So I said, can I see the fourth clip? And the fourth clip was about teaching your children financial responsibilities. The original clip that they wanted to use was of my editor and how she explained it to a child, which at that point, great, it's fine.
Yeah.
But with all of this hate, I'm like, yo, you are gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
be pillaged and an amazing ability not to give a fuck about what people think.
Right.
So I think you should change the edit. And I'm like, what's the caption? And the caption was also something really very jarring. So I was like, up to you. If you want to ride this high, this fourth video in a row, confirm viral. Easy. Let's be real. You show your stakeholders, they're not going to ask you for the context. They're just like, wow, great views,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
shareability, great saves. Like they don't care that, oh, it's negative, you know? So it's up to y'all lah. It's your brand. So you want a fourth viral video or not? And it was not. So they re-edited the reels and they rejigged the clips and the
Right.
captions.
To make it better.
I mean, no one knows about the fourth video, do they?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay.
So sad, huh?
And that was actually a good show. In the first episode, we talked about raising multiracial kids, multi-religious kids. There's so many important things that we
Yeah.
talked about in the first episode that has been overshadowed because they chose the
Because he
clickbait
never pay
over.
the fucking medicine.
Correct.
bro.
Yeah. No, I thought it was quite interesting
So
because
what,
like
simple fix.
you spoke about how like Casey is American, Caucasian, and Indian Catholic, and yourself, you're Chinese and Eurasian, and how like you guys have had 4 years of conversation about how you wanted to raise.
Before we even had the child.
Yeah, and still haven't reached a conclusion on like the identity, I guess, for your children. And I thought that was very interesting, but it just didn't
No one
didn't
cared
make
about
the live day.
Who cares about being a good parent? You want the bad parents.
Yeah, that's what sells.
Speaking of what sells, so the second clip
Yes.
also triggered a lot of people because it was about how you went on holiday with your family and your sister and partner thought that the holiday was a bit more chill, whereas you felt that, hey, if you're coming along for the holiday, take care of the kids also, like help out your extra hands.
Now that I have a second one, like last year, she was only 5 months and we went to Desaru again. Oh my gosh. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the stress.
So unlike the first one where I felt like, okay, I can completely understand where you guys are coming from.
Right.
This
Oh,
one,
he judged.
I judge lah.
He judged.
No,
Honestly,
I
I
judge.
also judge.
We watched
I was
together.
not
We judged
triggered by the
together.
first one, I was triggered by the second one.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I immediately felt like, ooh, okay.
Okay.
But I demand context. I
Yes.
believe
Yes.
there was a good reason.
You see,
Yeah.
that is fair.
Wait, no, I want to know what triggered you.
I think the part where I think you said if you're joining us on the holiday, like you are expected to like be extra hands lah. I think that part was like okay. I don't
Why,
know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Why?
Wait, I think it's only acceptable to take that wholesale, right? As acceptable truth, right? For me, if you paid for the trip.
I mean, that was a lot of the comments. A lot of the comments were like, if you paid for the trip, sure,
Right.
you can expect this. But,
Or you
okay.
pre-gamed it lah, or you pre-gamed it.
To put context again, I did pay. And then
Oh,
my
you
parents
did?
transferred back the money.
Okay, okay.
That's
that
another
was
thing.
the context I demanded.
Okay, lah. So
Ambush.
for context, we did this trip before a year. When we had one kid, not a year earlier, but when we had when it was only Lily, our elder daughter. Honestly, it was her parents was the one who was like, why not we go to Desaru? You know, we can help out with Lily, and you guys can have a break, and we can all, you know, divide and conquer lah, and you
Yeah,
guys can
right,
have a
right.
break. So it was actually like recommended and like suggested by her parents because her parents go to Malaysia a lot, and they're very like well versed with JB and stuff like that.
Right.
So she's like, you know, the Western in Desaru is great. You guys can, you don't have to fly.
And Lily's very easy. Lily was very easy.
Yeah, Lily was super easy. easy. So we just went. It was us and her parents. The context of this is we did this trip and it was suggested
Yeah, the
by
agenda
them,
was established.
Yeah.
by them so that we could have a breather.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Second time round with
fast forward,
Ziggy.
second time round with a maniac second daughter.
Yeah, the second one is a Toyo.
Our second kid,
us.
our second daughter Ziggy. To put it simply, like okay, I don't know if you guys have seen the wild thornberries. Have you all watched the wild thornberries? You know,
That's
No, that's a small one.
Oh
The small
my
one.
god, the crazy wild
Yes,
one.
yes, Ziggy. That's the small one.
Fun fact. Did you know his voice is actually Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fun
God.
fact. Yeah. Anyways, that's her. That is her.
Right.
That's her, right? So this.
Be like Bam Bam lah.
Yes.
Exactly. Bam, bam.
Even at 5 months, she was like that. It was crazy.
Wild. Still today. And, she turns 2 in July.
Yeah.
So we go for this holiday again. Everyone thought it was gonna be like the first one. Us included. We thought it was gonna be chill.
And the baby cries and she's very, very loud. And my dad has heart palpitations. And when she cries, it stresses him out. So he takes his heart medication. And they don't say anything. My parents are like, they take care of the girls Monday to Friday.
They're really amazing.
Because like
swear.
I do night classes now. So I go to work and then after work I go for night classes and my parents pick the girls up from school. So they help all day.
Yeah.
And my girls are very, very close with them. But when you're stuck in a car and then you have a 4-year-old, 3 turning 4-year-old who's just non-stop talking, look, a moo cow, look, a cow, hey look, another red car. And then you've got the small one that's trapped in the car seat screaming. And then my mom is just like, can't you do something about that? I'm like, I don't know, maybe let me try and do something about that. So it's very stressful. And then the first night.
get there.
No, the first night we went to Putri Harbour. Walao,
Yes.
the hotel them yucks lah. Damn yucks. And then like, we never traveled with Lily. She was a grown thing, right?
Yeah.
This one's a 5 month. Also don't know how to bathe her also. So like, I'm like, okay, I'll bathe with her and I'll hold her. Then you soap her. And then sleeping time, it's only one room. And Lily takes up, like she sleeps in a letter H. So then the small baby is at the corner with me and I'm like trying to like hold her at the edge. Okay, don't fall off. There's no sleep that was had. And then when the baby wakes up screaming, then of course Lily wakes up and then everyone is awake. So that's the first day. And then there's another hour and a half to Desaru. And I'm like, let's just get to the hotel. Let's just get to the hotel so the kids can go for a nap. And my dad's like, never mind, I'll drive slow. They can sleep in the car. Yes, okay, assuming they sleep. They sleep in the car, which they did not sleep in the car.
Yeah.
Then we get to the makan place. Then the older child don't want to eat. The small one is just not eating. Oh, it was difficult. And then we go to sleep the second night and everyone, we get there. My parents, we're going to take a nap.
Yeah.
And my sister, we're going to go for a massage. That's great.
Happy
Peace
for
be
you.
with you.
Yeah.
And then we are left with like these 2 grumpy kids again. And then the next day, my mom want to go to zoo. So we go to the zoo. We get to the zoo and the small one has diarrhea, like explosive diarrhea all over the car, all over me. And she starts having a
Like
fever.
outside of the diaper.
Yeah, it leaked out.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So again, it's
Fuck,
like...
parenting is just it's not for me.
So you see, so you
So
see,
while this is happening, my dad is just like, she's like, what kind of shit place is this? and my mom has now taken Lily, let's go see the goats. Oh, we're gonna go see the goats. I'm like, okay, bye. See the goats. And he's like taking a picture of sugar gliders. I'm like, what is going on?
Sugar gliders though.
snakes, all.
So cute.
I'm just carrying the baby that now has a fever and has diarrhea. And I'm like, what's happening? What is my life? And he's very happy looking at raccoons. I don't know what he's doing lah.
Yeah.
I had the kids with me.
He
I
was
had the
with-
kids. I had the kids with me.
Most of the time, yes.
Lily.
But yes.
Lily.
So when the baby wakes up, she's hungry. I'm like, okay, I'm going to feed her. I pack the water, the formula, get everything ready. I forget to bring the milk bottle.
Yeah.
So my dad zooms me back to the hotel to get the milk bottle. And it's just a lot. And we had to compromise everything. The girls wake up at 7:30. We would have to go swimming. And then when my sister wakes up, it's time for the nap. But we can't have a nap because my dad's like, no, we all must have lunch together.
Yeah.
We all eat as a family, must eat as a family.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just-
bet he sounds like that.
Yeah. And it's just tiring. It was a very horrible trip. But later that year, we went to Australia. It was damn fun.
Yeah, I can feel it. Let's not move past there. I can so feel that. Like, it's so many words, right? This feeling, it compounds and there's that feeling of, is my life like this now? there is that feeling of, am I really alone in this? But you cannot say that you're alone in this because factually there are people supporting you. People like your parents supporting you. Casey maybe takes the big one away is some form of support also.
Yeah.
But it's like you as a mother are often stuck with the hardest parts.
And
the
at
loneliest
5
parts.
months, you would
Yeah.
know this. At 5 months, your baby wants you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can try to help,
Yeah.
but the baby's going to want, you're going to be able to want comforting it.
Yeah.
This overwhelming feeling of almost dread, right? How often is this in parenting or motherhood?
I'm very self-aware. Like, I didn't want to go on the holiday because I knew I would not be.
It'll be harder than
I'm
being in
very
Singapore.
scheduled.
Right.
I
okay.
need the baby to sleep at this time. Because if the baby doesn't sleep at this time, she is going to lose her mind.
Yeah.
And why do I want to put the kid through that? Then why do I want to put myself through that? And then I'm going to get irritated at him just for existing. Like, it's not his fault. But like,
Like,
you
don't
know,
breathe so loud and shit.
seriously. What is with the breathing? Men and the breathing. But yeah, so I didn't want to go. And my parents take the older one, like the second night onwards. She slept in my parents' room. And I'm like, yeah, that's really great help. Because when the
Yeah.
baby wakes up, at least Lily won't wake up. But the point of the matter is the baby still wakes up. And then we are both awake. And then
Yeah.
it's just tiring. On the point of expecting help, if you're in a lift and you see someone carrying a baby and groceries walking to the lift, would you not just instinctively
Yeah.
hold the door open?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would you say? Well, she didn't ask for help, so why should she expect help? Expect that I'm going to hold the door open for her. It's just, if you go on a holiday with anyone, if you see anyone struggling, would you not help? I
As
don't
opposed
know.
to just like,
would.
no, I'm out of here. Like,
Yeah.
right.
And
So
this
like-
is family, you know. It's not friends.
So I don't understand the point of view of y'all should not expect it. Well, that's a hard life, man. That's a sad life if you're not allowed to expect kindness from people.
But I think it's not about expecting it. I think you can expect it. And then as family, I think they should have done better.
No,
But then I think
They do a lot, lah. To be
I
fair, they
think-
do a lot. And I just
in
think
that moment lah, but I just feel, but I think where the triggering part is then going online to talk about it.
a lot of people did that. A lot of people
Yeah.
are, oh, you know, you shouldn't talk about your family in public.
But that is the truth, yeah.
It is the truth, and it's a lot of what people face. I get it. It's really, really tiring. It's really terrible. When we go on holidays, I cannot say I am tired.
Yeah.
Because it is seen as, well, that's motherhood. You know, you must be strong. You must be that. So I get it. I resonate. But yeah, please don't tell people this because you shouldn't talk about it because then people are going to say you're a bad mother. Although
Yeah.
all of us feel, most of us feel that it's tiring. Lah. We all know
Yeah.
it's tiring.
No, but speaking of messages, I mean, there were comments visibly more so on this clip that there were people coming out to actually defend you or even
Oh,
like
was
say
it?
really nice, sweet things. They actually came out to almost defend you and explain on your behalf. And then other people started attacking them, like the
Correct.
people that were
Yeah,
defending
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like, how
So
did that
out
feel?
of all this, that's my guilt. Because if
Yeah.
you want to attack us, fine. You know, I did put it out there. So
Yeah.
obviously you're allowed to judge me.
Yeah.
But if someone shares the same opinion as me and then you go and attack this person,
Yeah.
it is cyberbullying. And I don't want to be the catalyst for y'all like fighting among
Right,
each other.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
not nice.
the funny thing about that whole video was when we started to realize, or what we saw, the majority of people were Muslim female women. They were the ones that were ripping into us.
Right.
Oh,
And
okay.
these are pious religious Muslim women. Which is when I started to be like, huh? They're saying the most vile shit
Yeah.
about us,
Right.
and they are religious women. Doesn't the faith teach them complete?
Yeah.
Like, and that's when we were like, what's going on? And that's when people started messaging her and myself included and saying that, yeah, that's the culture that we have. Yeah, our culture now, it's like, oh, if you can't take care of your kid by yourself, you are a bad mother.
Yeah.
And apparently there's this stigma on like,
You cannot ask for help. In
Yeah.
their culture, like, you don't ask for help.
Right.
and that was like 80% of the comments. That's when
Muslim culture don't ask for help. It's crazy. No, they hang out as a big family all the time. I mean, I
would think
have a
so,
Muslim
yeah.
family and
But
they go out as a tribe.
The
Right.
village
Yeah.
mentality.
I do Chinese New Year and I invite my Malay Muslim half of the family over.
Yeah, so I don't.
There's 4 of us in my family. There's 27 of them.
That's the part where I was very confused at because like yes, I've got a big family as well, and yes, we have Muslim people in our family as well. It's all like here's a kid, man, go play your cousin. Give me a break for like an hour or two.
it was like that in my family also.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
why it was. And obviously, we reach out to our Muslim
Yeah.
friends like, yo, what is this? And they're like, yeah, cannot.
Honestly, I don't think that's the problem, Jill. I think the problem is the way you said it, but that is the way media is now. You
Yes.
know, you can talk about it this way, and then you will have fulfilled your job as a good guest or as a platform owner, and then you get the engagement, you get the views. But the other way is to pre-game the context, right? To talk about how it was meant to be as a break for us. It was this was pitched to us, and I would much prefer to be in Singapore because then I have my routine, I have my support system, I have everything I need, as opposed to go there. So when I go there, bringing all these things over there, and then I didn't have the support, I don't have my routine, I don't have the things I need, it crumbled. Like if you said it like that, then no one, and plus stating your expectations of your family, I feel like no one would take issue with anything.
And no one would watch the
But
video.
no one would have watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, no one would have watched the video.
If I had said that in the reel, no one. You're saying everything right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If they had taken the clip of us talking about financially getting ready for the kid, is the kid going to go to my parents more often or his parents more often? How are we going to raise the kid? Because I was okay to baptize the baby because he's Catholic and his mom's Catholic.
Well, I was.
Yeah, his mom's Catholic. So like in honor of her, I know it would mean a lot for her if our kids were baptized. We talked about all of that, but who cares? That's not gonna get views.
That was
no one
episode
cares
one,
about that.
episode one.
Yeah.
But not the daily catch-up viewers, right?
Hey.
Hey, can I go and take a piss?
Yes. We can
May
take
I
a quick
have
break.
water, please?
Yes, absolutely.
So we just took a break, right?
Yes.
For the audience. Okay.
Oh, crap.
Back from break, right? Actually, I got a question.
Yes.
Or not really question first, but I feel like, right, back then, right, maybe like 10, 15 years ago, right, we were all at the same place.
Baby.
I feel like we just don't know each other, but we were all, I feel like we were all at the same fucking place. That
Yeah.
era
With
of
armchair
Singapore's
critic.
that culture. Wow.
I haven't heard that.
With Tambi Kesiao, you remember?
Yes. Yes.
era, man.
It was. My first baby is 2007.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
first babies I played. I was doing my
I don't
N
watch
levels.
Vacant Affair, Aaron Ling.
A vacant affair. We
Yeah,
just
yeah,
got back.
Yeah.
The other one, the Saifu, what's his
Great Spy, is it?
Great Spy Experiment?
Spy, yeah,
That guy was my art teacher.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I did want to conclude the earlier point, which was talking about the second clip again. Not to bring it back, but I did want to say that I think after hearing the context that you guys provided, I think it made so much more sense as to like how you were feeling. Like it's not so much about entitlement, which was a word that I think a lot of people used. It was just like being put in that situation and you feel so stuck and alone. You just hope that if someone sees you struggle, like they will just offer like a hand lah. So I think like, at least for me, someone who judged at first based on that clip, with the context, I totally understand.
You know what's the context that made me like realize that that's fine?
Yeah.
It's talking to her, not knowing what happened,
Yeah.
but understanding the kind of person she is and how she speaks.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like knowing that changes things.
Yes, definitely.
Because I think we get away with a lot of things that other creators don't get away with saying.
Just because that's the way you say it.
Because people have come to learn that's how we speak.
And also, y'all are men.
Also that.
True.
The first thing that I was told when I joined media was, you're very young and you're very pretty. Anything you say is going to be bitchy. People will not find it funny. People will not think it's smart or highbrow. They will look at you and think you're being a bitch.
This was someone
So,
from the industry.
one of the first few things that were told to me. That and you need to change your laugh. It's very annoying. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
How to change it last year?
So you manufactured a
Like
radio
a
laugh.
lower register laugh.
Lawan this all true.
Yeah. Instead of I'm like you sound,
That is so true.
yeah. So those were the two things that were told to me. Like you need to be aware you're young and pretty. People don't think like, wow, smart, good point. I was like, wow, them know it all. This girl talk a lot.
Right.
So you will, yeah.
Speaking of which, like going back to the past, right? How do you guys meet? Because I read somewhere that you actually didn't like Casey when you first met or something along those lines.
Oh my god, he's so annoying.
But this is
so
like
much.
pre-baby. So this was a place, I don't know
Third
if y'all
place.
went, called Third Place. Very long. It was at Outram. It was a church actually. It was a Christian church that they held gigs every Friday night and 3 bands would play. I think 3 or 4 bands would play. For this period of time, I was like an MC and then I would like introduce the bands like sometimes and Caracal would play and that was when I just joined Caracal. Yeah, that's where she saw me because we were all in the same group lah. Just different bands would play every week lah. She was part of this other group and yeah, I was a short fella lah. I was just short.
He talked very long.
MC I need to kill time.
Oh, he's like, but he'll say things like, this band needs no introduction. Then for 10 minutes he'll talk.
She's exaggerating. This one exaggerating. Yeah, but went our own ways. And fast forward.
Yeah, you want to tell the story? Because they say like, what's off limits? So how truthful do we want to be on how we met?
Ooh.
If you're okay, I'm
I'm
okay.
fine.
Oh my god.
What's up, glory hole?
So basically, fast forward, I went to watch a band. I think it was Anne Boleyn and Tonight Alive and the Red Jumpsuit. It and the three of these
One of
bands.
them gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were playing it.
Wait, which part grows? I love them.
Yeah, I will go watch them
I
now.
only like Anne Boleyn now, but my buddy was there and he knew I was down, so he was like, "Yeah, what are you doing after this?" I was like, "I don't know, I'll go back." He knew I was going through some shit, and he was like, "You wanna go and grab a beer?" Back then I still drank. I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay." Went to have some beers with him, and he was like, "You wanna come back to my place and have more beers or what?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." He was like, "I'm driving anyways."
He wasn't drinking at the time.
So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and pick up a friend, and we're gonna go and drink." And the friend was her, but it was a special kind of friend. You know what I mean? It was like
A fuck buddy.
Okay. Oh,
So
Who buddies fuck buddy?
like
No, he.
you were buddies, fuck buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, this is so honest. This is crazy.
yeah.
I had just gotten fired that day, I think, or that week. I had just
And you were
gotten
in crutches.
fired. I was in crutches, and I met another guy before that, and then I was talking to Buddy. I'm like, "Hey, Buddy, where are you at?" And Buddy's like, "At Sentosa." I'm like, "Wow, very far."
Yeah.
I'm like, let me know when it ends. Maybe I'm still out, then we can, have fun times.
I love how y'all were prepared to share this story and she was prepared to out Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy's a great guy. So anyway, Buddy is like, come over. I'm with Casey. So I'm like, oh no, is it like a threesome? Because being very honest, Buddy could have been down for that. But I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm okay with that. And then someone my knee dislocated. I don't think I'm in like physical peak optimal physical
You'll be able to
condition
perform
to, So I was a bit like apprehensive, but gotta get some. So we went to Buddy's house, and then Casey was there.
We didn't really speak much until we got to his place. And we were just chilling at his place. It was an argument. We started getting into a very heated debate.
Both of you.
Yeah. Buddy was chill. Buddy was just like,
Don't slip
fuck,
me in,
man. I
man."
just wanna chill. I just need a fuck. I'm assuming. And we were like arguing about like war and stuff like that. Really like intense conversations. Like a week
Aboned,
after, I think
yeah.
I added her on Instagram. Did I ask you out?
Yes, of course. You asked me.
Was it?
Please.
Yeah. So you want to go for beers? And obviously she was very well spoken lah. And I was like, that was the thing that attracted
losing
me
lah,
lah.
yeah.
And she was like, you want to check with Buddy? And then I'm like, oh yeah. Buddy. Oh no. Then I gave him a call. I remember this call. I called him. I was like, yo, are you and Jill like serious or whatever? Or like, because I want to take her out for some beers. And he's like, bro, I'm in Bali. Go, dude. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you, man. Go. I'm so happy. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah,
No, but
go,
does
dude.
he know?
Yeah.
No, wait. Does he know that do you actually know their buddy situation? Like
Yes.
how buddy they were?
Yeah.
I had
Of course
And
lah.
he knows you know.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And we've been buddies ever since. Like, he came to our wedding.
what switched for you? Because you didn't like him at first.
You saw me at Blue Jazz. I walked by.
Oh yeah, he walked by.
You see now she
story,
downplays it. She was like, hey, who's this fella? Quite tall.
I was with my other guy friend, and then Casey walked past. I was like, cutie. And then that night was the night that I first met him.
Yeah. She didn't know it was me, like the short fella from her past.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
and
he
that
cute
night
now,
we
huh?
met.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fate.
Yeah.
That's what destiny looks like.
I was so good.
Wait,
Such a
I didn't hear
good
the question.
guy.
I didn't hear the question. What?
She was like, who made a move?
You didn't make a move.
I
Don't
didn't make a
tell
move.
lies.
I was like,
He's telling
Just
lies
aura.
again.
Just hook, line, and
No,
just wait,
I was really like, damn, play it cool, damn chill. Don't do anything stupid, like, okay. And like, we hung out one night, we drank a lot, and it was like, I think 5 a.m. in the morning, and it was opposite a mosque, like near my old shop.
The whole night talking. I went, so are you going to kiss me? Like, then he kissed me, then the azan played.
True story. So that was how
So I don't know what move you made. I'm the one that asked you.
No,
are you gonna
that's the
kiss me
thing.
or
That's the
not?
thing.
But
Like,
that's
I
not,
didn't
that's
make a
not the
move. I
first
didn't
night.
make a move.
That's not the first night that you
No,
asked her
no,
out. That was like
No, that was like when I asked her out.
I see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you guys like differ a lot in terms of your parenting styles? When I see you guys, I think like we've obviously met at different social events. I love the way that you are with like your kids, like with your daughters, and like I've always felt like wow, cool parents.
Thank you.
I think she was very excited about this question as well because we are actually very, very proud of how we've raised both our daughters, but we had, I think, no plan.
I'm not saying no plan. We agreed on things that we won't do. I think
Yeah.
that was more important.
Such as?
Too over gentle parenting. Like we weren't going to do that. I raised them the way I was raised. And my parents think I'm very strict. They're like, you need
wow.
to chill out. And I think a lot of people, based on how we look and how we talk, would just
Yeah.
assume otherwise, that we are very lax or cool parents. I think we are very strict with things that I feel matter. So like you have to say please, you have to say thank you. Don't be a fucking annoyance in a restaurant. Like I believe kids should be kids to a certain extent. Not to the point where like you're being fucking feral and then the rest of the world have to be like, it's just a kid, you know, no, fuck off.
Like don't impose your kids on everybody else in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
We are very hands off their personality, I feel. We allow them to explore and discover at their own time. We don't force anything on them except for spelling now. I don't know why she's she's a bit wild about
It is quite
spelling.
tough. Spelling seems like a really
It's
Spelling
wild.
is nuts.
Like spelling is
Bro,
crazy.
TCA, bro.
Like the other day he said, it's all right as long as you try your best. And I went, but passing is important too.
So
Like your best isn't going to cut it if you fail. So you have to pass.
to answer your question, both our parenting styles are quite similar because we are just watching them grow and we want to see where
But
they're
it's very sweet when they reflect it back to you. So like my
How old are
dad,
they now?
Lily is going to be 5 at the end of the year. Ziggy is going to be 2 in July. So very young. So like my dad knocked his knee and then immediately to go and kiss his knee.
because we do that to them.
Yeah.
You know, like made a boo boo and we kiss them. So
Yeah.
they do that.
And when I go for night classes, Lily's like, I miss you. I hope you. I wish you don't have to go to school because I want you to sleep with me and I miss you. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Mom has to go to school. All right, try hard. I hope you learn something.
She says things like that, things like this, like on her own.
And
But-
the other day she said, "What the hell?" I'm sorry. What?
Oh,
she
wait,
cried.
wait. No, so yeah, so this is what I wanna like talk about lah, like you know about parenting styles and what we do. So this was I think last year.
I know what you're
I was driving, she was in the back, and the guy in front of me was taking damn long lah. And I said, "What the hell is this guy doing?" And she went, "What the hell?" at the back, and I was like, "Yo!"
No,
I was
fucking
like,
hell.
"No, I didn't say. I didn't say fucking. I said what the hell?" And I was like, "Yo!" I said, "Hey, who taught you that?" And then obviously she heard it from us because we don't censor ourselves.
Yep.
We don't censor ourselves. Even when we speak to each other at home, we we would say fuck.
When we fight, she'll go, "Guys, calm down."
Yeah, she
Calm
says
down.
that. And we've never said this is a bad word.
Yep.
Okay. And when I said that, I was like, "Hey, you can't say that now." I said, "You can." We tell them that's an adult word that you can't say now. You can say it next time when you're our age.
But we hope you don't.
Yeah, but we hope you don't. So that's what we convey to them. And
He went into
I
pump
went to
petrol.
pump, and then she tells Jill, she's like, "Mama, I think I know more adult words." And she was like, "Oh, really? Like what?" And she looks at Jill and she goes, "Is helling fuck a bad word?" and she looks at her, she was like, "Yes, that's a bad word, but firstly, it's fucking hell."
Helling fuck's not a bad word.
Yeah, but that's an adult word that you can't say. And she's like, "Oh, okay." The next day we go out for lunch. We go out for dim sum with her parents. It's a Sunday and we go out. And her mom's a teacher, English teacher, right?
And Lily had a speech impediment. She couldn't say F's.
Yeah.
So like flower would be kawa.
Right.
Or French fly is kenchkai. So she couldn't say F. But
Yeah.
so she was learning and now she could say F.
So she tells her mom, she's like, "Hey, Lily can say bad words now, And the mother was excited. Like, and we were in the elevator. And he's like, "Really, Lily, you know how to say bad words, like adult words? Could you tell me one?"
I
Like,
say the F word. You can say F now, right? So how do you
Yeah.
say, what's the F word?
Tell Grammy what you said to us yesterday. And she panicked because she's scared of her grandma, and she says, "No, I don't know. No, I don't know." And then so her mom goes like, "Oh, you're too chicken. You don't want to say it. I mean, you can say it. Don't worry. I won't get mad. You can say it. You're too chicken. And she still didn't want to say it. So they walk out of the lift. I'm in the back with Jill, and Lily's in the middle. And Lily pulls Jill's skirt, and she's like, "Mama." And then Jill's like, "Yeah, darling." And then she's like. So she goes down and then she whispers in her ear, "I know, Mama. Fucking hell. So she
Just want to make sure you know she knows.
Yeah. Then she did actually forget.
but the fact that she could do that, knowing
the
that
context
she,
and when
You
to
don't
say it
say
and
it.
when
not
to say it and
Yeah.
or don't say it ever,
Yeah.
it was amazing to me. Like, and I looked at
It's
her, I was
amazing
like,
that this is still possible, lah, right? Because I also remember, like when we were younger, our parents would just swear.
smack.
Yeah, and
I mean,
then,
or if we said it, we
and
just
then-
smack.
You know, because like right now, I see my godchildren or other people's children for that matter, and somebody say some bad words, then they were like, "Oh, you can't say that." Like they would tell the adult, you can't say that. And then the adult will play along and be like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And it's like, wow. Then, because I don't have my own kids, so I'm just wondering, okay, maybe it is like that now. Maybe that is just the correct way to like just not confuse them, right? But like growing up, my parents also just swear, and then we just know we can't say it, lor.
You
know?
shouldn't say it lah.
Yeah.
I don't swear in front of my parents.
Yeah.
Till now. Like,
Yeah.
they know I'm foul, but I don't like, what the fuck in
Yeah.
front of them.
Question for parents: is it okay for your friends to swear in front of your children?
Yes.
Like, what are the rules and boundaries around that?
Like, I'm chill.
I get really annoyed when they're like,
Yeah.
They try to your friends start censoring themselves.
firstly, your
Yeah.
reaction is damn big.
Is the reaction.
Is
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
your reaction is worse than what I am saying. And do not parent me. I am not your child. I'm
Yeah.
going to say what I want to say. It is up to you to tell your kid,
Yeah.
Auntie Jill said a bad word. You're right. You shouldn't say it. They don't magically not exist, just because you don't want your kid to say it.
Yeah.
And your kid's going to hear it from other people. So, like,
Yeah, I
Hear
think
it from
teaching them
Auntie Jill.
the awareness of the word and then teaching them that how to filter, like there's a context in which it's not okay to say it, I think is a lot more powerful than just saying don't,
Cannot.
because eventually they're going to get to an age where they're going to be rebellious and be
Yeah.
like, oh, everything I couldn't do, I'm going to purposely do now. For my son, we haven't reached that age yet, so we actually have no idea how we're going to navigate that. But I swear so openly and I forget to catch myself also.
Right.
So I feel like he's going to pick it up anyway. It's just a matter of time. So it's better to just like get him aware and then teach him when to say it, not to say
It's
it.
also the reaction that people give the kids.
Yeah.
They latch on to that. So when you overreact about something, or like if they fall down,
Yeah.
you go like, "Are you okay, kid?" I swear that's when they cry.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Exactly.
like it's okay, just stand up. You okay? And that's what we do.
yeah,
Like
where's
when-
pain?
Yeah.
Literally, Lily has. There have been instances where she has fallen, scraped the knee, blood, and we just try to not over like, oh my god, are you okay? Okay, I'm boo boo. Like we don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like you're right. Okay, stand up.
Agreed.
You okay? Can you walk? And she's like, you can see that she's trying to hold her tears, but she's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then she
I
would-
didn't cry.
and she's like, I'm brave, right? I didn't cry. And
Yeah,
and she
right.
asks us that. And
I'm like, you
we-
can if you want to. It's
yeah,
fine if
wanna
you cry.
Yeah.
But because we didn't give her that overreaction, right?
Yeah.
She just thought it was something
They
else.
don't
Like,
match that energy.
which is the same as if you said a bad word
But
to a
having
kid.
said that,
Yeah.
I do like if we are in front of kids and he swears, I'll be like,
yeah.
For other kids.
Yes,
lah.
Yeah,
other
yeah.
other kids, I try to tahan a bit, especially in the shop.
Yeah.
Like, I try my best. I try my best, but sometimes it's a bit difficult, and the conversations that happen in the shop can be quite wild as well.
It's always so fun, by the way. Like every time I go, it's like just the funnest time always. But yeah,
At
sometimes
which
the
point
language.
did you pick up cutting hair?
I actually got interested in it on tour with Caracal in Toronto in 2011.
You
Yes.
just cut your bandmate's hair. And then-
No, I went there and I actually wanted to buy a hat from a barbershop, and I went to the barbershop to buy the hat. It was sold out, and I was like, since I'm here, I should just get a haircut. I got a haircut, and the guy he listened to the same music, and he was covered in ink, and I was like, this guy is cool, man. And he was like a retired pro snowboarder.
Right.
Ooh.
And he was like, yeah. And then I was getting my haircut, and on his mirror, he had a picture. I looked at the photo, I was like, fuck, is that Dallas Green? Dallas Green plays in a band called Alexis on Fire, which I love.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. I was like, how the fuck do you know Dallas Green? He was like, well, you're in Toronto. We're all classmates from back in the day.
Right.
And then I was just like, oh shit.
shout
and
out
then,
the shop.
yeah. So the shop is still around. It's called Crow's Nest, and it's because of that shop that I became a barber till today.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, I bought a whole bunch of hair product. I was like, I love the haircut, and then I was like, damn, this is a great thing. I didn't know like people were actually learning how to cut hair, like classic barbering. Came back to Singapore, and my buddy saw that I was like sticking my hair.
Different
with-
buddy.
Yeah. Different buddy.
Stop saying buddy.
and then,
No, we'll call the first one fuck buddy.
yeah. So I came back and not a lot of people were using pomades at that time. So
Right.
I bought back a whole bunch, and I was sticking my hand. He was a tattoo artist, and he was tattooing, I think, in Brisbane at that time. And he reached out to me. We used to work for Obey,
Yeah.
the brand Obey, right? And we used to skate. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to Singapore and open up my own shop, and it's gonna be a tattoo shop and a barber shop. You interested in becoming a barber? No. Like, what the fuck? I literally just shot it down. I was like, no. And he was like, well, when I come back, let's go out for coffee and see if you're interested. Met him for coffee. He said, what are you doing now? I'm like, I got 9 months left. I was still in NS. I was in the Navy. But I was 8 to 5. And then he was like, you wanna you want to just try it out? I'm like, okay. So he got a friend from Australia. He came down and he basically just taught us like basic hair cutting and stuff like that.
That's the hardest fucking way to hire a barber, is it not? If you want to open a shop,
Someone
you
with
find
no
a random guy
experience.
with a little bit of interest, then like I'm gonna get someone else to fly and teach.
Because it was a whole culture outside in the West. In Asia, there was nothing like it yet. Like
There's no
barbering.
poaching lah.
In barbering, like it was just like you go Little India, go to the Indian barber, that's it.
Right.
But in the West, it's been a norm.
Yeah.
Like classic American barbering has been a norm for years and years and years. I didn't think it would pick off lah, because I was like, how much you gonna charge for a haircut? He was like 25. I'm like, there's no way guys are gonna pay $25 to get a haircut. And I was very wrong. I've been doing this for 13 years now. And when he first opened the shop, there used to be like lines. And that was when she met me lah, when I was still working at that shop. There used to be lines that snaked all the way out and around Bali Lane. And people had to wait like 2-3 hours to get their haircut.
Right.
And I've been just cutting hair like.
I remember that it was such an interesting phenomenon because like back then, right, all we had were those options, like either Indian barber or like go to salon, and salon was like, it was very like women catered, and there wasn't like a place for just like guys to hang out and then get your haircut. I remember like Bali Lane, and then all of us would just
everyone would just go.
Is it still
and-
Bali Lane?
Grease Monkey Barber Garage, yes.
Yes. So
2 locations, one at Rocho, one at Bali.
Yeah, the Mayo Street is the one where Casey is at. That's the one I go to.
Yes.
And that's where you're gonna hear a lot of interesting
Grease
stories.
monkey.
So I feel like this is a damn Singaporean question, but what's the career progression of a barber?
Wow.
You exploring
No, just curious.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you learn how to cut already, right? Then after that.
I mean, it's exactly like a stylist, right? You gain regulars, you gain clientele, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the usual progress is they open their own shop and then you become a barbershop owner. That's usually what happens lah.
And you open more barbershops and then you do private cuts.
Ooh.
Very interesting private cuts.
So like people
Yeah, yeah.
invite you to go down to their house.
Yeah. I just did one for on our anniversary this year, our wedding anniversary. Of course. It was funny, dude. Like,
he asked you
I'm
for
not
a
helping
favor.
my case here.
You went to work during
When are you
construction.
available? Then like, okay, let me see when my anniversary
It's
is.
almost like he
like
rather
$50
do anything but spend time with you.
No,
Let's do it on Jill's birthday. I'm available that one.
So it's so funny. We were getting ready for our anniversary dinner. We're going out, and like my old colleague, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, you think you could do like a house call?" And then I'm like, "Bro, I'm like gonna have my anniversary dinner." He's like, "Any of your guys can do it." So I asked my guys, and they say no. Fuck. Okay. So she asked like, why? And I'm like, oh, this guy asking me to do a hotel call. Where? The Rezt. I'm like, how many hits? 3. I'm like, how? Like. And when I do a house call, I do like $250 per person.
Wow.
Yeah, like whatever, it's like $250. And he was like, that's like what? $750. And she was like, never mind, we go have dinner, then you go and do lah. I'll wait at the bar. I'll drink at the bar. I was like, huh? For real lah? She's like, yeah lah, go lah, $750.
Almost $1,000. You don't want me for 3 hours of your work?
Yeah, so I was like,
Very
huh,
understanding.
serious ah? So we went out for our dinner. We makan shit dinner. Like,
Yeah,
it was a
don't
shit
say the
place.
place, yeah.
Shit dinner. And then she was like, yeah lah, come on. So I went to Greece. I got my shit. And then I went to the Ritz. She waited for me at the bar. And
Made $750. Was there anything that you guys wanted to like come here and say, particularly to respond to anything?
I feel there is no right way to parent. Meaning, go about and find your way while you're doing it. You can read up all you want, but every kid is going to be very different. And if your friends don't parent the way you do, that doesn't mean they're a bad parent. So just don't hold them to your standards and your expectations of what a parent should be. I think that's what we try to do. We don't judge gentle parenting or the really strict ones.
And I'm a clout chaser and I'll say anything for views.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining us, Jill and Casey. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
having
for
us.
watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
If you were a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be?
Do you know what this? So okay, I don't really. My friend buy from Vietnam for me. Apparently in Vietnamese, Ditto means like fat ass. Hence the.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't know whether that's true. Never fact check. Just wear.
But you have one, what?
Did lah.
But Ditto is quite good, right? It's quite a good.
Honestly, I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Ditto is a shapeshifter, so it basically
We are
takes on the
magic
shape of...
players. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. We're damn nerd now.
Damn nerds,
I'm so sorry. And I heard you've been buying packs now.
I bought 2 packs just to
Wait, what?
try.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's because of him. It's because of him.
It's because of me.
It's because of
You get him
him.
into magic, then you can't play with us, bro.
Don't.
Fucking fun.
Walao.
Then he come and play with us. Help me.